Stream this evening, folks.
Alright.
Just a man and his halfling, a dungeon master and his puppet. I don't like this mirror effect. My hair's going the wrong way on the stream.
Mm,
Also, why is it frozen? I can hear myself, but there's no motion on the screen.
I
Oh,
see
there
you
it is.
moving. Mm.
And I'm the only one watching. That's feels a little bit masturbatory. All right.
Really like to find a way to. Oh, my stream just went black. Oh, this is gonna be. Can you still see the stream?
No. Uh I can still hear it. And that's what's important is that I can hear. Oh, it's back.
I have a feeling the internet here is not quite as good as it is at home for me. Spent a good amount of the day grading papers.
The kid's gonna be all right.
Yeah, they're good. All right, so we're not expecting anyone for another 25 minutes. So, you should level up your character.
I already did. It looks like Dirk is the only one that has not to be a tattletale, but yeah, and I guess Barley, but I hey, they added a spot for inspiration, huh? Has that always been here?
Gonna text everyone. All right. We'll
Are
be
we
on
adding our
shortly.
new are we adding our new player this evening or no? Or are we
Probably
not
not.
having a new player?
We are having a new player. I don't think she's going to be able to make it tonight. She had a family dinner tonight. But she might pop in just to visit and say hi and listen when she puts the kids to bed. All right. Uh, Ezra.
That's me.
Is there anything Ezra wants to do in downtimes?
Uh I'm gonna ready an action to cast Slay Dragon. Um, let's see.
Perfect. Yeah, that'll work.
I'm gonna respec myself as a ranger so that I can use whatever bullshit spell Kyle uses to just flee to another plane. Um,
He has an astral projection.
well, he calls it, what is it, like planar step or something like that?
Yeah, I think so.
How come they couldn't get that spell into Baldur's Gate 3? Which I did. I beat the game, by the way.
Nice. You managed to defeat the lag monster?
It's not so bad on my system. Um, although I am getting over 100 frames a second in the first two acts, and it drops just to 60 on in the third act. So that's a lot. Although allegedly the developers found like a, I think it's a memory leak, and that they're thinking that they're gonna be able to get some pretty big performance gains at some
Yeah,
point down the line.
I had like 88 frames per second in the first two chapters.
And you're getting like under 30 or approximately 30.
Yeah, it's more like sometimes it's running smoothly and it's like hitching at certain like when there's too many NPCs around, basically. There's like
Yeah,
certain
which
parts of the
is the
city.
entire third act. Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's certain parts of the city I could go and it would be fine, like in certain buildings or whatever. But like running through the streets, if I'd come across a bunch of NPCs, my computer or the game would just, it's not, I
Yeah.
don't like, I have a good rig. Like I'm on my laptop right now. It's not that great, but
Um, one thing I guess I should update you. So I do have counterspell now. So I can use that as a reaction. I'm not sure if you have a way that you would like to handle that in game. So like if this dragon is about to cast a spell, let's just call it Smite Ezra. Um, like
yeah,
I don't,
you just say when, but you've got to say when, and like a reason. You can't like wait for the damage or whatever effects to happen and then say I'm going to counterspell that, right? I'm going to say, you know, this enemy whatever is casting a spell or
do I get to know anything about the spell that's being cast?
um sometimes.
Okay. Yeah. 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 What would Ezra like to do during downtime? You mean like once we're back at the Citadel, or
Yeah. So anytime you're in any sort of civilization between sessions and you want to do stuff, I
yeah?
have downtime open. So it's the
He's
Citadel or it's
continuing.
Wonder or it's, any sort of town or village or whatever.
Yeah, I think we've kind of glossed over. I had gotten all of the translation supplies to be able to read the book, and now we just kind of act like I can read it. I don't know if that's because the book is magic or because we're just assuming that I've been studying.
Sometimes the book wants you to be able to read it.
Yeah, but I
Other
mean, I think
times,
a lot of the time I'm like during our like downtime, I'm doing things like working on continuing to learn the demonic or devilish language, the infernal language, to be able to read the book more fully. Um, I'd be interested in shopping for a magic robe, one that, or a nice pair of bracers that might pump up my dexterity or my armor class. Um,
a bathrobe.
yeah, that'd be good. Or just what, while we're at it, bathrobe of notable fluffiness. That'd be nice.
Sure.
Does the blurry effect, as I'm polishing my glasses here, does it look like I'm doing something illicit? One can only hope, right?
My my laptop is pushing
Um,
its
Other
things at me.
stuff. I'm trying to think, is there anybody that I would want to talk to? Probably not. Um, uh, I guess maybe. Yeah, Ezra would be curious to see if there's anybody else from that might have had any kind of dealings or spent any time in the Feywild in Wonder. We'll say that maybe he did that at the bar while we were at Wonder. Ezra's mostly not worried about anybody from the Feywild trailing him, but he's a little worried about that, or somebody maybe hearing about what had happened, or let's see, what else? Anything else? Uh, how much gold do I have now? I'll tell you what. I'm gonna put on the magic hat, the hat of disguise. What is it? What do I turn into?
Mhm. Um, Sorry, I was just looking at something else. Yeah. So, it doesn't change your body shape. It just makes your face look different, and you can sort of
Yeah,
like, you know, you can sort of think about it and mend it a little bit. Like you just look like a different halfling, basically.
cool. Good to know. That's helpful. Yeah, it doesn't change my size, just my face. Um, Haley's talking to one of my best friends from home downstairs. I don't know why. Probably to plan some sort of belated birthday thing for yours truly. Um, maybe I'll get into whittling. Can I do that during downtime? Get really good at whittling.
Yeah, whittling. That's a great skill. I'm like shutting things down on my laptop because it is not nearly as powerful as my desktop, and it's
Mm-hmm.
struggling right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Been there. Uh,
Trying to relieve some of the pressure here.
how much can I sell my daggers for?
Um, just normal daggers, right?
Yep.
Not very much. Three to five gold pieces per, probably.
Why am I carrying 10 torches? You know what I should be
That is a very
carrying
good
is
question.
0 torches.
You don't even own a gun, much less many guns to necessitate a gun rack.
Yep. $50 feet of rope is 10 pounds.
A little heavy, but that's pretty close. Yeah. I mean, all hemp rope too, right?
I suppose, Bill. I'm not a ropeologist. Um, Other stuff that I would have been doing during downtime.
That helped a little bit. All right, now let me. Hmm. Yeah. Success. All right. So, any predictions for how today's game goes?
I'm pretty confident this dragon is he's gonna be a real straight shooter. Um well, you said he grinned at us, right? And it's a red dragon. Are we good? Uh right? Yeah, he smiled at us, he grinned at us. Hey, oh, and our red dragon's evil?
Decidedly so.
Yeah. All right. What does that mean though? What is evil, really? I have these conversations with maybe I should explain this. For those of you watching, which are let's check this stream again, just me. Um
It's gonna be a slow day.
I work with children. And sometimes I'll try to have philosophical conversations with them about like, hey, what is evil though, really? Like we talk about good and evil, but what does that mean? What does it mean, Kyle?
Well, I think it depends to some degree on who you're talking to. Like, some people might consider that if you fart in church, that's evil escaping out of your butt.
Yeah. Okay. But
Others of us think that that's amazing and should happen as often as possible.
but I guess conceptually, like I guess maybe what's the definition of evil?
Again, it's kind of hard to say because, like, one person's evil could be another person's good. That's why this country
Trash
is
treasure. Yeah.
morally difficult to navigate.
Yeah, no objective truth. Yeah, great.
Hmm.
I once got into an argument where I was like, so if a guy, steals a loaf of bread, is that bad? Is it still bad if they're stealing a loaf of bread to, like, feed his family?
Yeah.
And they're all like, no, stealing is bad. And I'm like, but a kid would die if it didn't get the food, and they're like, no, stealing is bad. And I'm like, no, I think you're bad. I think you're a bad person now, but whatever. That's just me.
Yep.
What do the kids say?
They will often th- talk about things like hurting people. Hurting people is evil, which is smart. That's good deductive reasoning. Sometimes a lot of the time they actually have a harder time explaining what good is. Um, it's easy to identify like what's good, like stuff that feels good, like fun, happiness, togetherness, but like on a grander scale outside of the self, what's good? Calidus, you came in at exactly the time
Yeah, the moral
that you're needed.
philosophy. I mean, it's like the trolley experiment.
Yep. I mean, in Dungeons and Dragons, yeah, I mean, it comes down to that, like, good is that which helps others, and evil is that which is selfish, right? Is that essentially what,
I guess.
or selfish and hurtful is evil?
But I have heard some crazy stories. Like I heard once a D&D group invented they enchanted a bag of, it was like a bag of holding. What it would do is if you reached into it, it would snatch a random halfling from a village, and they would use it to throw this halfling into rooms to see if they were trapped. You know, like it's an evil
God, I feel
act,
like
but you
you.
protect your party by basically throwing alive, to see if and if it wasn't trapped, that halfling got to live.
What
So
like
yes,
what
and
kind of
you're
GM allowed
protecting your
this?
village.
I don't know. I just read about it online and I was like, that is fucked up. And I know that you know, D&D players can be really fucked up.
There's a lot of murder hobos out there. You know who
Yeah,
you
I
are.
used to be one in high school, it was like you build the edgelord character because you want to be like edgy and cool and, but and ultimately I prefer playing flawed characters. They're just way more interesting.
What do you think is good
Matt,
and evil,
Matt, we
Duncan?
can't hear you.
Oh yeah, there's no sound, Matt.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes.
That's what happens when somebody pushes the physical mute button. I was saying this conversation makes a lot more sense than when I first joined, and it sounded like an existential crisis that was going on.
I mean, that was part of the plan. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You dorks.
There he is, the caster from Madagascar.
What?
No, I'm kidding.
I
I just wanted to rhyme with Madagascar.
I like that it was Madagascar.
Yeah, it was the first thing that popped in my head, so I rolled with it.
It was good.
I apologize if that happens.
I like that it wasn't I wanted to rhyme with caster. It was like, no.
Right.
We're gonna get this African island involved. That's
Yeah.
what's really important here.
There's a cat in my room, and I don't own a cat. I guess it's not
What?
my room, so.
Are you sure it's a cat
Well,
and not an elithid that's polymorphed?
You need me to talk to it?
It's a pretty cute cat.
Use your cat voice.
There's several different cat voices I've used already in this campaign.
It's true.
What about that cat song that's been really popular with the cat that's like, sometimes I'm alone, sometimes I'm not. I don't know if you guys have heard this.
I haven't seen that one yet.
It's a cat that's going like, and like someone put lyrics and music to it, and like sang it in front of a giant audience, and they were all losing their shit and like playing it on their phones while he was singing it.
It does sound like internet
The
culture.
world is weird.
Yeah, I think people get bored and they're like, "Hey, it sounds like my cat is saying something. I better put
Wait,
it to
now
music."
there's 2 cats in my room?
Oh no, they're multiplying like Furbies
They
or
are.
Tribbles.
Or like gremlins when you put water on them late
That's
enough.
the
Water
one.
on them.
Furbies. Yeah, did you put water on the first cat? Is really the
No.
question.
No, it's not even after midnight yet.
Well, then how are you disciplining it?
I'm not.
Maybe they're from Europe.
Okay.
It's past midnight there.
One of them.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, they never really explain time zones, in the Gremlins movie.
Siam is in Paris, right?
What is?
Siam. It was a deep cut. There were like a bunch of jumps in that joke, but like Siamese cats.
Oh, right.
And then like being dumb at geography. I don't know. It was a push.
It's Madagascar. There?
Madagascar.
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 Madagascar. Ooh.
So I don't know about you guys, but I got plenty of spell slots to fight this dragon. You guys up?
Yeah.
I don't know about any of you, but we are fucked. I appreciate the Kender's desire to do this thing.
I
But
prefer the word gumption.
Moxie.
I don't know about Dungeons and Dragons, so I'm ready.
Why do
I'm here
so
for it.
much?
See, I carry this thing called the XP flag, and we unfurled it when we kill things.
Oh.
I've read the Monsters Manual, and we're fucked.
Oh yeah, I read that like when I was 15, but I didn't take it personally.
See, Kyle, all we have to do is we need to cast an orb of ice in a bag of holding, and then wrap it inside out, and then throw it into the mouth of the dragon.
Okay, we have a bag of holding and a cat.
I don't. Why do cats really like me a lot? I don't know why.
It's because you're warm.
You're tall and scratchable.
Guess so.
Maybe they don't like you. Maybe they're putting cat evil in your area.
Maybe, but they're very friendly about it. Cats often come to snuggle me, and I don't dislike cats. I just feel kind of neutral about cats. I feel like it's a bit of a creepy relationship.
Well, I don't know why.
Procedural question, maybe a monstrous manual question. Are red dragons immune to locate object spells?
So
Like-
it depends on if it has a spell, like if it has spell-like abilities, you can kind of like build your. It depends on how Bill's running this thing. If it's straight out of the book, it doesn't really have counterspell, I don't think, but it makes sense that dragons are really powerful magical creatures, so it's possible that this thing has spells.
What, when you say is a dragon immune to locate object?
I'm just saying if I wanted to find something while dying.
Like in the dragon? Like you want to try to find its butt
Yeah.
plug? Like
I mean,
I mean,
that's
maybe he's
not.
going inside the dragon, and we have to cast locate non-fecal party members.
I was thinking that Ezra would be inside the dragon, and I would just use locate object on his pants.
Ezra's pants?
Listen, I'm very handsome and charismatic,
We're only
but
eight
you
in
need to
the
stop objectifying me.
I'm not objectifying you. I'm objectifying your pants.
So what you're saying is Ezra's going to seduce the dragon.
Right.
Or at least my pants will.
It can be very distracting with cats running around all night that I'm not used to, but let's take a second and recap what happened last time because it was an epic combat episode.
'Twas. We fought a bunch of toads.
Yeah,
We summoned we took control of a bunch of necromantic dwarves that did fuck all.
Mm-hmm.
They kept half the slot busy, which kept half of you alive.
The
Half of us died. Me being one of them.
one big thing was Steelbeard died,
Yeah, Steelbeard died.
Right.
and he's now a zombified Steelbeard. That the helmet you can use the helmet to control, or at least commune with. He's gonna stay behind. We defeated the dragon.
Zerwin rode the dragon like a drunk man at a
Mm-hmm.
bull like tavern kind of situation on max
Gold.
level.
Bull taverns.
I don't know what's the fucking ride the bull, like those are at taverns, right? The
The
mechanical
electric bull at
bull, the
the
electric bull.
Square Dance Factory.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Zerwin did it like a crazy person. It was awesome.
I think we killed all the Slod too. Slayed. We
Did
slayed the
a
Slod.
couple of them teleport away because they have like a weird bullshit dimensional shift?
One of them did. One did. Yeah, you're right.
One, so he'll come back later screaming about how he killed his wife or something.
Or he'll come back with extra planar friends.
Yeah.
Or maybe the dragon is his friend. Anyway, we healed up as best as we could without taking a long rest. And then we left, and there was a red dragon above the entryway waiting for us, right? And so we all turned around, and there was a big red dragon. How big is this red dragon?
So I just want to remind you of a couple of logistical things.
How big?
Yeah, how big? My God, the cat keeps sneaking up on me. So remember to get into this place. Cats and wives just sneak up on me all the time. Yeah, I see the cats. Thank you. In order to get into this temple, right? You couldn't just go in through the front door, right? You had to like get a Steelbeard like read the map and guided you around this like collapsed wall, right? That you had to climb up and over to get in. So in order to get out, because the only way you knew how to get out was to get the way you got in, you started climbing up and over this collapsed wall. And this collapsed wall then had the rubble that went down the side that you were slowly picking your way down. This building is, 200 feet from the roof to all the way to the ground. It's raised up on these steps, and then the ceiling itself was 125 feet. You are way up there, and it is treacherous footing. And this was like the hard part of getting in. And right as you're like at the top of that like collapsed wall, starting to make your way down the other side, that's when you heard the voice behind you of the dragon.
And what did it say again?
It asked if any of us had a mint.
Did it actually say anything to you, or did it just?
I think we cut there. I think that was like the cliffhanger.
I mean, we heard it, right? We heard something.
Yeah, did you? You know what? I should know this because I ran the game, but my thought was to leave you at just like turning and seeing, like, or maybe you heard like it on the roof. But at any rate, now it is there, and you see that the dragon, which is perched on the roof, kind of like lazily with its front arms crossed in front of it, like sometimes how dogs lay down. It's flanked on either side by Sevac Draconians, who are well armed and armored.
Okay.
And it does.
So his bodyguards. What a pussy.
It does seem to be grinning at you, in this sort of like wolfish, dragony way. And for a second, everyone's just sort of frozen in that moment of like, oh shititude. And then it speaks to you. Adventurers. The spicy oranges, is it? That's correct, right?
Yeah.
Wait, is that our name?
I mean,
it's
not
a long
gonna be anymore.
story.
I don't think Owen was part of the group at that point when we were
yeah, so we need a new name.
So I think when he says that, I'm gonna be like, huh, he doesn't even know who we are.
Actually, we prefer
I-
quiet riot.
It's like Huey Lewis in the news. It's Owen and the spicy oranges.
Mm.
I owe you my thanks. You know what? We're not talking as equals right now, and that's not really fair. He mumbles something in a language you don't understand, and then you're all lifted off the ground, and you sort of like float about 10 to 15 feet up. Not high enough to be like terrifying, although because on either side of you there's like a big cliff, it's terrifying, but like from where you just were, it's not that high. But it sort of brings you up to eye level with him.
The language
Mhm.
wasn't draconic.
It did have some draconic in it. But it was sort of a bastardization.
Okay.
That's
It's like
better.
Spanglish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Rhymeroth, and I believe I know all of you already. You've
That's very
really just been
presumptuous.
very helpful, and I wanted to communicate my gratitude, my deepest thanks for all that you've done for me so far. Well, for starters, there was finding the Tinker Gnome. I've been looking for Fodleys for quite some time, sending minions out every night, coming back empty-handed every day. Within 24 hours of arriving at Wonder, you found her, which is very helpful. And then, of
You're
course,
welcome.
thank you. And then, of course, Yaren being in the city, that's a big help to me. And then, falling for my lure and killing my brother. I, I almost can't believe how good you've done. And then,
Thanks.
yeah, absolutely. It's been a real treasure watching you work. And then, of course, having Owen's sister around to help me with my plans has been just, I don't know, a real beauty. Everything you've done so far has been beyond my wildest dreams of success.
This guy's really nice.
So I do have some bad news, though. I did need to borrow Yaren for a little bit. And Fodley's. They're being, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Key components to my plan, if you will. They didn't want to come willingly, so I had to take them. They're okay. They are unharmed. They are very important to me, so I won't be eating them, if that's what you were thinking.
I lean over to Ezra and I say, key components is 2 words.
I lean back over to Dirk and say, "How do you?" I don't even remember who Yaren is, and I definitely don't know how to spell Fodelies.
Is it an FO? Is it
Yeah,
Sounds like a
how many
non-alcoholic beer.
how many
Phoddly. Fodleys.
2 Ds?
Sorry, no apostrophe. Phoddlys. Fodleys. And Yaren is related to someone here. Does anybody remember who Yaren is?
Yeah,
okay, so that's one of your
Yaren
parents?
Skeletus.
Yeah, Gullis is dead.
Well, at least we know that Yaren is not afraid.
Yeah, Kenders don't really get afraid.
So
Young
that's
Genders
good.
don't. So, anyway, the city might be a little stirred up when you get back. Just wanted to warn you of that.
Well,
What do
we
you
should
have
go check.
Yarn doing?
Oh, well, he's, you see, between Bodley's is the sort of, tinkering mind I needed to create some engines of war. But she's not very good at building them. Yaren, on the other hand, he can build just about anything, and he can forge it out of dragon metal. So, in order to power my war machine, I'll need the mine that's in Wonder, and I'll need Yarn and Fodley's. That's bad news for Wonder and most of the people in it, because in about a week I'm going to go there and kill everyone. Or at least anyone that doesn't leave before I get what I want out of it. But good news for Yarn and Fodley, because I'm going to need them pretty much the whole time. I'm sure you have questions. I just don't care. But before I say goodbye to you, and I suppose I could have just, I don't know, pushed you off the edge of the ledge. But I wanted to express the sincere gratitude I felt, because I have been stuck in this fucking backcountry bullshit town for months, trying to figure out how to untie all these pieces. And within 4 days, you solved all of them for me. So, I hate to say goodbye, but this is goodbye. And with that,
Bye.
he flaps his wings and drops the spell, lifts off into the air, and you're all blown backwards, and his anti-gravity spell dissipates, which means you're all going to fall about 150 to 200 feet.
I thought we were only 15
We're
feet
15 feet though, dude. Right?
Yeah, but
No, but he blew us back.
He blew
Oh,
you back
okay.
over the edge.
Can I cast Etherealness midair?
You might normally be able to, only
Pretty long fall.
Yeah.
How many? Sorry.
No, it's okay. It looks like there's someone else, or feels like there's someone else with some sort of spell, because you pass through a real quiet zone for the first part of your fall.
Quiet zone.
Yeah. Actually, what's that ability?
Arcana.
Yeah.
If you're asking like what skill to roll to like detect magical effects.
No, his ethereal step.
My etherealness. What about it?
What kind of ability is it? Is it a racial?
It's a spell that I can cast as a bonus action.
Yeah.
Does it require a verbal component?
Yeah, components VS.
So verbal and semantic. That means gestures and words.
The good news is, or maybe not good news, is that it looks like when you fall, you're going to land all the way down at the bottom. So you won't have to climb down afterwards.
What time is it?
Or
what does the light level look like right now?
It's overcast.
But day.
That count as dim light, or is it during the day?
It's daytime. Afternoon.
Yeah, let us cast Day Pillow.
I can fly if I'm in dim light, but if it's during the day, I'm screwed.
How many of my companions can I grab and like pull towards me just in case? Can I grab one?
Yeah, maybe. Why don't you make a dex roll?
Okay. Just an ability check, right?
Please.
That's a big fat 4.
Does anyone have anything?
I flail
else?
to try to grab the nearest companion in case, like, I can channel healing into them just as I die when I smack the ground.
Wait,
How did none of us have Featherfall?
I
I'm a paladin.
literally just changed it out because I
Um,
hadn't used it.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I don't
between the
have it.
bard and our sorcerer, one of the two.
Does Barley
But-
not have it?
No, he doesn't. I
Barley.
looked.
So you see that the liftoff that Rhymeroth did held him up into the air, and as you sort of like fall over the edge through the silent zone, he turns and starts flying away with all his CVAC behind him. It's gonna take you a good couple seconds to hit the bottom, and as you do, right before you smash into the ground,
Wait, it's silent all the way down.
no, there's a space of some 40 feet probably before you hit the ground.
Can I cast Misty Step then?
Yeah, maybe, except I think the first time, like, how would you know, I guess, to cast it, fail, and then cast again?
Well, I mean, it would be like the second he it's
Second you
the
would
second
hear
he
the
opens his
wind.
mouth. Yeah, you would hear if it's a zone of silence, which is what I'm assuming it is. It kind of depends on how you classify, like, what does it count to cast a spell, because he would start talking and moving his hands and he wouldn't say anything. We're all probably screaming too.
That's true.
Yeah.
We're all
So
probably
yeah,
screaming.
there's like a full second where suddenly there's no sound, and then we're all screaming again.
Ah!
Ace Ventura at the window. Yeah, like.
Okay. How long does it take to cast that spell?
It's one round. If it's an action or bonus action, it's just one round.
It's a
I think
bonus,
it's a bonus
action.
action.
And Misty Step, all I do is I can occupy 30 or teleport 30 feet to an unoccupied space that I can see. So I'll just teleport to a space that's close to the ground.
Will you maintain the momentum you had before you teleported?
Yeah, you'd have to actually like teleport up slightly, so
Okay.
that you like launch yourself up in a weird way. You'd have to be like, I'm teleporting here, so you like push yourself up and then fall like 5 or 10 feet instead.
I do that. So I get as close to the ground as I can, and then I do Misty Step, but I do it up a foot.
I mean,
Okay.
you're probably going to still need to do something like an acrobatics check to take, to not take damage.
Actually, I'm kind of interested to see, like, if you can time that well.
I'm
So
just
it's-
interested in this, like, maintaining momentum after teleporting thing. That's interesting to me.
What's interesting to me is that the DM would try to kill us in the first 5 minutes of a session without combat.
I'm
I
uninterested
could
in
see
that.
what the
I'm
internet says
surviving.
about it, but
Wait,
I'm
who's got the
surviving.
bag of holding? Can we fall into the bag of holding?
Forever? Does that sound better? I would rather hit the ground.
Look, all I'm saying is that if I can survive, I have a healing spirit.
I'll tell you what, why don't you make an intelligence roll, Dirk?
the internet seems to think that you can just avoid fall damage by using Misty Step, casting it on the round you would have crashed into the ground.
See?
That's what the internet thinks. It's not
This
like an
is the
official
same
ruling. But
round, right? Like, the fall of that isn't a full round's worth.
oh god, we're getting into like 36
You're just
feet per
trying to
second
kill us
squared
here.
kind of stuff, aren't we?
There's my
That's-
intelligence check, you dick.
So I
Would have
mean,
normally succeeded, but you called me a dick, so you automatically fail. No, it's fine. It works.
Nope.
Where
Great.
you misty stepping to? Slightly up.
I am Misty stepping to about 5 feet above the ground from wherever I cast it.
I don't think you take falling
Wait.
damage for 5 feet.
Yeah.
this is taken. This is taking so much longer than the actual fall would have taken. Can you just hit us with the damage already so that I can be dead? I can be freed from my mortal
I think
coil.
something's going to happen, but
Yeah. So right before you hit the ground, you
good.
basically all get Featherfall cast on you, and you basically stop. 5 or 10 feet
guys think
before the ground,
think
and
it's the
then
ogre,
gently
maybe?
float the last 10 feet to the ground.
Ezra, brilliant!
Um,
You've really saved our bacon here.
Wait, you
You
can
know,
still do
sometimes
Featherfall?
sometimes I surprise even myself. And then he glances around to see who actually saved us.
Piggy,
Thought so.
and Starlbrand. They sort of like materialize from behind a rock. You're not quite sure how they were sort of like there without being able to be seen. They are 7.5 foot tall blue ogres, but they sort of appear, and excuse me, Kiki says, "Are you all okay?"
If I
So physically, we're all right. I think
Jen,
mentally and emotionally, I think we're all pretty defeated at this point.
Has Owen met these ogres?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
did you guys see the red dragon? The thing that you guys see that?
Yes, that's why we were hiding.
Oh, that's
We
good.
almost died, but Ezra saved us.
That was me.
You're you saved us. Sorry.
Ezra, you liar.
I mean, I just all I said was I surprised myself by not dying from that fall.
Oh, all right. We're gonna
Uh,
talk about this later.
Higgy, as we were falling, we fell through an area where there was no sound. Did you have anything to do with that?
No.
Hmm,
Probably the dragon trying to kill us.
maybe.
Probably. Starlwind and I have been looking for you for almost 12 hours. This is a big ruin of a city. There's been some terrible news, Geldis. Your father was taken. I'm so sorry.
The red dragon told us that. How do we fight it?
I don't know.
Oh, jeez.
Perhaps
My
Zerwin
people
would
did
be
not
able to
fare
climb
well.
inside of it and cut it from the inside.
Yeah.
There's
Are we still level 7?
No, we
No,
leveled up.
up.
I have
We
more
can
bad
actually
news.
do that.
Fodley's and your father were taken at the same time. Do you remember all of the Draconians who were in the mine behind the false wall? Well, they all broke out together, and on the way, it seems like they were there just to. They had a whole plan. It was well organized. I saw the aftermath. Starlburn and I both. They slew many guards. They were attacked in return by Alzor, and Reed actually was. It was in the wee hours of the morning. Reed heard something, went outside, grabbed his battle axe, rallied some guards. Alzor was among them. They fought bravely, but Reed was badly injured, and despite healing, doesn't seem to be recovering well. We're not sure why. They did manage to slay almost a dozen Draconians, but the rest escaped with Fodley's and your father. I see you found your mother.
We did, and we killed the undead dragon, the bone dragon that was in there. Apparently, that's what the red dragon wanted.
Your mother, by the way, has a pretty grim look on her face.
A
She's had
donk. Oh,
What'd you say?
nothing.
He's obviously been through a lot the past 48 hours. Kiki turns back to the party. her face is very stern, very serious. Where's Steelbeard?
Fallen.
No.
Yes, unfortunately. He died protecting us.
So the crown of Dwarven Kings is lost.
No, I got it.
You have it? And can you use it?
I have used it. I am not currently using it.
We need to return to the city. Quickly. I suspect the dragon will be attacking with all of his forces soon.
No chance of resting before we say 8 hours. Arbitrary decision.
By chance.
By chance. Long enough for the divine spark to re-enter my body a little.
Just a little nap.
I can get you to town. Well, Starlbrand can get you to town quickly.
Am I gonna ride a bear now?
Starlbrand said, I can, just say when. Is there anything else that we should know or talk about? It will likely be the small council who wants to speak to you, but I'm not really a member of town. I've only been in at nighttime where my presence does not raise an alarm.
Friend, we will protect you. No one will do anything to you while we stand at your side.
Are you going to help us fight Rhymeroth and his army?
That's why Starlbrand and I went to Wonder. We were going to wait for Steelbeard and offer our services, and we were hoping that Steelbeard could sort of smooth our transition.
What if we swore you in as conscripts?
And they might be pissed at us. Steelbeard went with us, and he's not with us anymore.
Yeah, do we have conscription swearing powers in Wonder? That's fine. Let's do it.
I suppose we could always ask for forgiveness later than permission now.
Yeah, how? Okay, let's go. Let's go back. Let's bring our new friends and just have some conversations with some people about the red dragon swiftly approaching.
We came
That's a
there.
big cat.
Yeah, it was a giant cat.
There's been several cats in this room.
That's been nuzzling your lap.
Yeah, well, that cat's been sneaking up behind me and nuzzling my ankles, and then yeah, this is the cat catcher. We call it the cat catcher. I originally came with Starlbrand to the city to Wonder because we were offering to join, and also Darman has decided his life path. Do you remember Darman? He's the giant black bear Urson that sent you all on your spiritual journey.
I'm glad Darman's been looking for that life path for a long time with the drugs.
What has he decided?
He's going to round up his cousins and help defend the city.
I thought you were going to say move to Bali. That's great.
How many cousins does he have?
Yeah, does he have anywhere near maybe like 2,000-3,000 cousins? Because that's about what we need.
I don't know. He didn't say. He said
Maybe
it would
he
take him
can
only a
breed
couple
like
of days.
cousins.
Are any of his cousins giant dragons?
No, they're all Ursons.
Oh,
Or like a Panzer tank, maybe.
Panzer tank.
Dahlbrand
That's a funny word.
turns and speaks in a language that no one here understands because it's ancient ogre. and on the wall of the building opposite, a like portal appears, and then like symbols appear around it, and then it like opens, and on the other side you see the outer wall of Wonder.
Let us leave this accursed place.
That is handy.
Friends, I will guard the rear. You go first.
You go.
All right, I jump through.
Just walk, but jumping is also allowed. You are on the other side is Wonder, and you come out walking away from the town, but you can turn around and walk back through the gates.
So they look like they came through. They went through fine.
Yeah.
Okay, I go through last.
Wow. Brave paladin.
Better safe than sorry. You've never seen a dimension door before, Owen?
I deal in divine magics that don't really touch upon the more arcane transportation spells.
Your divine magics don't have portals?
They sometimes do, but I am more of a warrior, not a cleric, so my abilities are limited to smiting and smiting.
All right.
Oh. Yeah?
So let's all go get some. Or I guess before we get some rest, we got to go talk to
We
some
must
people.
meet with the council and urge them to form a defense, however frail it may be.
I mean,
There's
they had started that process, right?
We got to urge them to accept these ogres and
That is true.
prepare for some red dragon. Do they
And
have
bears.
an ice orb and maybe a bag of holding? I heard that was a trick.
Or a catapult spell and 1 billion copper pieces.
It is daytime,
Ooh.
right?
That's afternoon.
All right, let's go talk to the council.
Yeah, they're probably up.
So,
Hey, council, you up?
as you like the oh, you know what? Oh shit! I'm gonna have
We
to
all
send it
shit.
to you. I have a map of Wonder that I made, and it's on my other computer. It's a really nice
It's all
one
good,
too.
dude.
Wonder
We have
Man,
theater of the mind.
Mm-hmm.
what is
So
the
as you go
secret
to
of your
the
power?
gates for the first time, they're locked and closed. Remember, this is a wooden palisade that has a row of like trees stripped of bark hammered into the ground, and then some stones piled in between another row of trees, right? So you've basically got wood, stone, wood, and then a walkway that goes over top. That's the city wall. Then there are guard towers, one on each side of the gate, and there are 3 gates.
Is it like
There-
a portcullis kind of deal, or is it more of like an openy gate?
No, it's made out of the same like timbers, right? The
Okay.
round timbers, and it's got giant wrought iron hinges, and it swings out.
I'm gonna shout, open the gates! Allies without!
You see a guard lean over, looks at your band of people, squints, and then looks at the ogres behind you, and is like, "Who are you?"
Sir Owen Barclay, open this door now.
Spicy oranges. We're friends of the council.
We've been staying at the inn.
Zesty tangerines are we.
That's Owen. That's not.
What?
It's not us.
It's not?
No.
Sorry.
No.
We've been staying at the inn. You probably remember us from a few nights ago. You didn't like the look of my dragonborn friend here, but you let us pass through.
Didn't like it.
Oh,
Is it the
that's
same
right.
guard? Yeah, is it the same guard from a
Yeah.
few nights ago? Maybe.
See?
Are you good? Yeah. Joseph, open the gate. It's those assholes who scared all the kids the other day.
See?
That
See?
does
Demented
sound.
You guys-
children?
Honestly,
I don't recall this.
that sounds like a generous description of us. So, well,
you guys
thank
were all
for that.
like, don't scare the children. Pays. All I'm saying is it pays to be terrifying from time to time.
You hear the sound of like timbers being lifted from the other side, and then one of the two doors swings open about 6 feet. On the other side, there's half a dozen guards with spears.
Pointed at the ogres.
Just kind of like at the ready. Not necessarily pointed at you, but like they all sort of eyeball you. And then some recognition passes over their face. They seem to recognize Zerwin a little bit. They seem to recognize Dirk. And they, sort of relax a little bit. And then the ogres walk through after you, and they're like, "What the fuck is that?"
We vouch for them.
It's fine. It's just Zerwin's new girlfriends. It's okay.
So Kiggy and her brother.
Don't you dare kink shame him.
Exactly. Don't tell the Minotaur lady, but Zerwin's in love.
Zerwin, you have anything to say about this?
No, I don't know what the hell they're talking about.
About the ogres or about Zerwin being in love?
One thing working in your
Ra-
favor is that the two ogres are not armed in any visible way. Kiggy carries a staff. Starlburn doesn't seem to have any sort of weapons on him. So the guards are shifty, but they sort of reluctantly let you through. And then afterwards, you see that there's timbers leaning up against the gate, and then timbers they put down on the latch to hold it from being kicked open.
Mm-hmm.
And it all sort of goes back into place. We're in lockdown.
I turn around and I go "Hey guys, that stuff's probably not gonna work."
Yes, this front gate is highly flammable.
Also, fly overable.
Do they know what's
Yeah,
coming?
so we should just leave the gate open. Who the fuck asked
No.
you? Keep moving.
They
That's good.
there's the leaders of the guard have been working to start getting as many people armed and prepared as possible, but that was less than 24 hours ago, or maybe about 24 hours ago. Yeah, I mean, we've been on this plane for 4 days.
Lots happened.
Yeah, and
We need
almost
some-
all of it is our fault. God.
We need some Game of Thrones ballistas bullshit here.
Yeah. Fault is such a tough word to be using.
Guys,
Can
I'm
we downgrade it
I'm-
to just slight transgression,
I'm shaking to my core. I really thought we were doing some good here, and
Yeah.
just grasping at straws. All right, let's go see
Sometimes
the
it's
small
the
council.
villainous acts you do along the way.
Yeah. I do wonder about my alignment. I think it's starting to slip toward neutral.
Oh boy. Yes, huh?
Okay, small council.
You've gotten some.
It's even
comments on the
smaller now.
Christmas tree's sake.
Hey.
We got what?
Some happy comments about the Christmas tree from
Oh.
some podcast or some stream viewers.
I mean, right now, isn't it more of a Thanksgiving tree?
Nope, that's a Christmas tree.
How many? What number is that? Is that 4?
It's 4. That's the 4th Christmas tree up.
You have 4 Christmas trees up in your house?
Yeah.
shame.
Well, we're
Shame
getting
about
one
what?
more on Friday too. So getting the real
Just in
one.
case you forget, room to room.
Yeah, are they backups?
Yeah.
I don't know. They're not my Christmas trees.
You look like someone who doesn't make decisions about the trees. You're just kind of yes, this is what's happening.
Yes,
I have no opinion. My mind is numb on the subject.
I carried them up from the basement. That's my part in it.
Well done. All right. So where are you guys headed now that you're back in Wonder?
We're gonna go to the even smaller council.
Yeah, the Council of Diminishing Size.
Yeah, I
Let me
can't
just
remember who's on it.
because you don't know who's on it. Let me just remind you that one of the things that I told you about when you first this is a while ago, so I'm happy to remind you. Like when you first met Steelbeard, and you met his aide, who turned out to be a spy, um, Damon
Mm-hmm.
Matthias. Remember him? He explained that
Mm-hmm.
the small council was basically temporarily on hiatus as they made Steelbeard a sort of Caesar, right? Someone who has military emergency powers to save the city. That was a couple months ago. So you don't know
Really
who the small
shit the
council
bucket on
is.
this one.
You don't know.
Let's
You'll
go to
have
the leader of the guard, the only other Dragonborn or Draconian here. If
want
you
to
want me
find
to find his
Alzor.
name, I can. Yeah, he's the only other person who I can think of who might be sort of in charge. Alzor, yeah. Oh, and the youngish green-haired elf.
Yeah.
He, yeah. Whose name I didn't write
Volus.
down. I don't. Volus?
Folas.
Folis.
Foles? Okay. Yeah, we're gonna go find one of those two. Whichever one we see first, it's a small town.
It's a medium-sized town.
Depends on where you're from.
Rouge.
Probably Alzor, since we don't necessarily know where Folis works
Sure. Where
or
do you want to look for
lives.
Alzor?
The barracks.
Okay. So the council building, whatever, the only stone building in town, right? Remember,
Right.
that's
Right.
where Steelbeard was. That's where most of the offices were. So sort of like near that is where the barracks is. The barracks is a kind of like a wooden longhouse. Um, it's not anything fancy. It doesn't have, you know, towers.
Electricity. Yeah.
Electricity. Doesn't have towers or like, window slits. Like it's just a normal building. Um,
Uh,
it
yeah.
reminds you
Is
that
there?
Wonder was kind of like thrown up quickly, like a boom town, which is exactly what it is.
I assume that there's kind of like guards sort of milling around, one or two. And I'll just walk up to one. Hi, excuse me. We're hoping we might be pointed in the direction of Alzor. Uh, we're we're hoping to meet with him.
But one of the dwarf guards who's standing out front says, "Yeah, he's well, he hasn't left Reed's side since last night."
Okay. Is Reed in the main shit? The main the you you just
Yeah.
the stone building.
You got it.
Yeah. All right.
If you go in,
So
if you go in and take a right down the first hallway, there is an infirmary in there.
thanks. All right, we'll go to the infirmary. I guess I shouldn't. I keep speaking for all of us. I go to the infirmary.
Let's do what? Fucking
Yes, the
Duncan wants to
infirmary
do.
is good. I still have some healing I can give out to the sick.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I got healing things.
The infirmary is clearly makeshift. It looks like it was a storage room, which was then transformed into an infirmary when the first time they had like a real attack, which was last night. There are 30 beds, 7 of them. I should say cots, really. 7 of them are full. Guards in various states. Some have smaller wounds. Some have bigger wounds. One of them is missing a lower half of one of his legs.
What level are the guards? Because my 1 point of healing will either look pathetic or amazing.
They're low levels,
point.
1 to 3.
Okay, so I have 10 points of healing left. I will absolutely dispense the rest of it to the wounded while they're doing this conversation.
Do you want to pick one person and try to heal them, or do you want to? There's also a very exhausted, like, I don't know how to describe, like, how would you see this person? Not a priest, definitely some sort of cleric, but not a cleric for any, like, this person should have a recognizable deity, right? Especially for Owen and Gelidus. But this person looks like they've lost a few steps along the way. It's an older half elf. He looks haggard. He's been applying bandages and, you know, he's currently tending one of the guards who's like conscious, and he's asking him questions.
I'll go over and say, a friend, I have minimal skills in the healing arts, but I might be able to attend some of the fallen with a little healing. Who is a priority here?
Oh, yes, please. Well, I suppose it's Timothy. And he points
Timothy.
He points to the guy who's missing the lower half of one of his legs. He's also got like a puncture wound in his chest that's doesn't sound great, but he's hanging
Okay.
on.
I'll sit down next to Timothy and say, fear not, for I am here. And I will put my hand on him and I'll dispense 10 points of healing into him.
Timothy's eyes like flutter, and then they open, and his breathing returns to normal. The hole in his chest closes, and for a moment, like he seems kind of only half there, and then he gasps and like reaches out and grabs your arm tightly. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Fear not.
He
We
looks
have brought you back from the lands of the dead.
He looks much better.
We shall get you some soup or gruel to return your strength.
Thank you.
You know that?
He like sits up a little bit, and you can see that his leg wound has mostly healed also, but he's not regrowing the leg. Obviously.
Yeah, he's not regrowing the leg. This is all I can do for you right now.
He like a single tear rolls down his cheek, and he
a single tear comes down mine too.
He grasps your arm and says, "They're coming back. We know they're coming back.
We know we're here to help. You have nothing to fear. Champions have arrived this day."
Where are they?
Shut up!
You do all notice that one of the beds has an enormous bearded man. Orange red hair, beard starting to go gray. It's Reed from the inn. The owner of the inn.
Oh shit, Sam. I chose the wrong guy.
Give it back immediately.
Sitting on the cot next to him, which is bowed under his weight, is Alzor, the Sevac, who is looks like he's dozing. He's got his back up against the wall and his legs up.
He's the one we were looking for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ezra! He's over here.
Thanks, Owen. Ezra is gonna softly try to rouse Alzor.
Why? Whispering something in his ear or throwing a roll at him?
Reaching all the way up to Alzor's shoulder and gently shaking.
Did you say rouse or arouse?
God, you know,
Sweet.
I only say these
All
things
the
hoping
way
that
up
they'll
to
catch
Alice
your ear. I'm gonna give him a reach up.
What?
I'm going to wake him by gently nudging his shoulder with my hand.
Yeah. So your hand touches his shoulder, and his arm shoots out and grabs your wrist, and then he lets go. Sorry.
You're fine. We're hoping that we might be able to convene the small council.
Where's Steelbeard?
He's dead.
He stands up. His like whole body tenses, and then he like the energy just drains out of him.
How
He
about a little bit
just-
of tact here, fucking guys? Jesus
He
Christ.
just like sags back and puts his head in his hands.
Yeah, we
We're
should
all
have said
gonna
he was
fucking die
mortality
here.
challenged or something.
We're running out of time. There's no point in sugarcoating it.
Sit down on the bed first.
What's the point? Well, the small council. There's only 3 members still in town. There's Yarg, Clara, and Rose.
Cool.
I can go. I'll go get them. They should know they're all we have left. Give me a minute. And he stands up and kind of steps around you to Reed, and he reaches down and puts his hand on Reed's shoulder and says, "I'll be back. I know you can hear me. Stay strong.
Bill,
We'll
which
figure
one
this
is
out."
Reed?
Reed
The
is
guy from the inn.
super friendly, barrel-chested inn owner.
Yeah. Okay.
How messed up does he look? Do you want me to roll medicine?
If you want like a more precise, if you just want a general description, I can tell you.
Either is fine. Since we leveled up, I do have a level 2 spell slot. I could burn on him to heal him.
Well, don't burn him.
It's not like that. It's like a healing spell, like heals the damage.
Go ahead and roll your medicine.
Oh, a big fat 8.
He's pretty fucked up. He's
It's
got
gonna
I'm
be a
gonna
long
heal
night.
him.
he's got a rending claw wound. It's clear he wasn't wearing like any armor. He probably didn't have time. And it goes like from like the side of his neck, like seems to like barely miss the big things here that would definitely kill you, and then goes right below here, and then like this. So like something reached over him and like tried to grab him here, and he like twisted away, but it like rended all of this. He's got a puncture wound in his left forearm that goes all the way through his left forearm. He's got a nasty bite wound on his left thigh, and he's got some burns on his right shoulder. So
Okay,
he's badly fucked up.
I'll kneel in front of him and say, "By the light of all the gods, come back to us," and I'll heal him. 2nd level, cure wounds. He heals 20 points of damage. I rolled max.
That's fucking sweet.
Got him back. Should have done that when Alzor was here, so we had some goddamn hope.
Alzor is still here.
Are we still here? I thought he left.
I mean,
yeah, I'm just gonna keep my hand on him until all the healing is dispensed.
it's only
I also put my hand on him.
It's only going to take a couple of seconds, right? It takes like whatever 10 seconds for the healing to happen, but there is like a. Actually, do you want to describe what it looks like when you heal?
Yeah. So there's sort of like white light flows down from my hand. Can I get like perception checks from everyone?
All right. I perceive it.
12.
Um,
Dirk sees the shit out of this.
Yeah.
He sees this with like Not just the 5
I would say
senses, but, like,
Gellius
2 or
does
3 more
too.
senses that we haven't even discovered yet.
Yeah.
So you notice that
Feel it in my tail.
as I'm doing this, I've drawn my blade ever so slightly and run my thumb down the blade.
Is it erotic?
No, it's more like I'm slightly inflicting a little pain on myself before casting
So
this.
so it's erotic.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I
the,
mean,
the safe
for
word is keep going, you know.
Okay.
for Dirk, it would definitely be erotic.
So I see that with my hands on Reed. I also do the blade move.
It hurt.
Moral support.
No, totally. And then I sheath my sword afterwards completely, but subtly, like I'm trying to like not let anyone see it.
So
Reed, can you
after
hear
the
me?
after the healing like takes, you see like the wounds start to close. Burn doesn't go away, but the puncture wound on his forearm closes. The claw marks all close. The burn stays and the bite wound stays.
Step away from the darkness and come back into the light.
Reed's eyes shoot open. He sits up and he like tries to like jump out of the bed, but his left leg still has a huge bite chunk out of it. So he like
I'm gonna put my hand on his chest and make sure that he doesn't hurt himself further.
he like gasps and like, what's your strength? You're pretty strong, right?
It's 20.
Yeah,
I
okay.
can make a strength check if you want me to.
No, like you can tell he's also very strong, but like he in that moment he like lurches forward as if he's like in mid attack.
Friends are here. Friends are here. Friends are here.
And Alzor like comes over also and like kneels down. Alzor's very, very tall. He's taller than an average person, right? And he like kneels down. It's okay. Reed, look at me. And then Reed like looks over at Alzor, and like everything sort of like comes into focus for him, and he looks around the room. What happened?
You were deeply hurt.
You were fallen. There was 6 of them. You slew 3.
Nice.
And Yaren? Alzor shakes his head.
The dragon said that he was taken.
Is he alive, though? Is he
Yes.
alive?
Yes, according to the dragon, he is.
It's very important. Yeah.
He sort of lays back down. They came out of the ground. I was just headed to bed. Becky had locked up. I was not going to do breakfast today. And I sure as enough didn't. I heard something. It was, I don't know how to describe it. Like the wind itself was whispering, or the air was speaking in some way. I looked out the window and I saw the shapes, winged shapes. I went downstairs. I grabbed my axe. I immediately ran out into the street, and there they were, 24, maybe more. I screamed for the guards, and I looked for Becky. She was gone already. And I knew that whatever they were doing in Yaren's house, we've become friends, Yaren and I. He's a good man. I
We shall get
charged.
him back. We shall get him back.
Like it's hazy after that. Blood, blades, claws, teeth. I'm powerful thirsty.
Get this man some water, followed by some ale.
The burnout cleric brings over a bucket with a dipper ladle and pours some into a cup for him. Your father, Gelidus. I'm sorry.
You couldn't have fought against that. I understand. We're gonna get him back though. Got my mom back. So no reason why we can't take this dragon on as well.
He turns and looks, and your mom comes over and gives him a big hug. I'm glad you're okay. Are you okay? It's nothing. It's a scratch, a series of scratches. I'll be on my feet in no time. We'll get your husband back. I swear to it. Get your husband back, or I'll die trying. He suddenly looks kind of weak, and he kind of lays back a little bit, and here does a deep sigh. Council. We'll have to call the council. Counselor says, yes, I'm going to get them now. And with that, he turns and takes 2 steps away, then turns back and says, you. And he points at you, Owen.
Yes.
What's your name?
Sir Owen Barclay.
You have my thanks, Sir Owen Barclay.
You can repay me right now. There are 2 ogres who are our companions. We wish them safe passage, unmolested through these lands. They are friends.
Ogres?
Yes, they saved us from the dragon. We vouch for them.
The second dragon. They saved us from the second dragon.
That's true.
Yes. The
Second
red dragon.
The only remaining dragon.
Okay, you know what?
There was a dragon that was
We'll
just
talk about
bones,
this
but
later.
that one's gone.
The backup dragon. What?
Yeah.
Okay, so Kiki and Starlbrand, who are just outside the room, he knows what to expect when he leaves the room, which is good. And then he walks out and leaves. Reed said, where's Becky?
Apparently she was the first one to be taken. Or she went missing.
Yeah, nobody's seen her, which is real weird.
No, nobody has seen her. That's what I said.
Well, we gotta find her.
Out of game, has Owen met Becky? Do I know anything about Becky?
She's the Minotaur who is the bouncer at
Okay.
You definitely have met her, yeah. Sir,
Yeah.
Does
I
she
know
have
a-
any
knows her.
I know a thing or two about her.
Yeah, she pulled Zerwin's hair. If you know what I mean.
Like
Recreationally.
recreationally?
Yeah. So nobody's seen Becky, is what you're saying.
If you fight the Minotaur, you get anyway.
Gonna get into that labyrinth, you know what I'm saying?
She's not exactly inconspicuous.
Yeah.
Is there
Friendly
anything,
though.
is there anywhere in this town that she could have hidden or could have been brought to?
He's a fucking Minotaur.
Are there subterranean caverns that could have been utilized, or
I don't
There are
think
the
she
mines.
would have. I don't think she would have hid anyway.
No, I
We're
don't
we're
think
still
so.
with Reed, right? Reed's the one who we're
He's the
talking
one who's
to.
asking.
Yeah.
She's like a daughter to me. You have to find her.
What was she at the inn this morning? When was the last time you saw her?
I told her to last night. We closed up. I told her to leave. We weren't going to do breakfast in the morning. She left. I went upstairs to my bedroom. Heard the things outside. I went out.
Can you tell us where she lives?
She lives right next to the inn.
We'll start there.
Thank you.
we could study the ground and look for hoof prints, see if we can find out anything.
Well,
I'm not-
Zerwin's got her scent. He could track her.
Jesus.
That's
Right. Does
No.
anyone else want to do anything here, or should we go check on?
Zerwin, that is incredible that you can track by scent. Is there anything you can't do, my friend?
Track by scent is one of the
Yeah.
things you can't do.
Do we still have a lot of people that are hurt in this infirmary?
There's still 5 other
Yeah.
injured guards.
Yeah, there's like 5 other people.
It's an infirmary.
Yeah, I was just asking because I know Owen did a whole bunch of healing.
So I'm gonna say that both Gelidus and Owen can see that Cure Light Wounds has been cast. It looks like 3 times by this worn out cleric, and the rest of the time he's just been bandaging.
So now it's more of a firmary than an infirmary.
Nice.
But I'll throw myself out.
Well, if it looks like there's still people that need healing, I'll cast Aura of Vitality and kind of stand in the center of the infirmary, which just pulses healing for 1 minute.
How much?
It does 2d6 hit points every round for a minute. So
yeah, that's pretty good.
20d6 worth of hit points that get spread about whoever needs it.
Spread them about.
Yeah.
Some of us occasionally step into the pulse or like, whew.
Yeah.
Because we're
all
still
of
a
you
little
can
messed up.
heal any wounds if you have any left. First of all.
Yeah, holy
Restore your
cow.
hit points. Up to that many. Would you say 20d6?
Yeah, 20d6.
So let's call it 60 hit points.
So we can all heal for 60 hit points
Yes.
up to our max.
No, I don't think that's how it works. It's
No,
60 total hit points that can be dispensed.
Yeah, so it'd be 20 d6s that can be spread amongst anybody within the aura over that span of time.
Okay, so you want to hit the guards first?
Yeah, ideally the people of the town that have been hurt.
Okay, hold on. Oh, I wasn't prepared for math. Hold on.
I can roll 20d6 if you want.
Hang on.
I mean, 20d6 on average is going to be about 80 hit points.
Okay, so you're going to need...
But for reasons we don't want Matt to roll it, right?
I'll take the average.
We're going to need 20 hit points to heal the guards, and then another 20 to heal the rest of Reed's injuries. Then you want to disperse the last amongst your party?
Sure.
Gonna end up being like 4 apiece, give or take.
Yeah, 4 hit points.
Okay.
Everyone heal 4 hit points.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm ready for combat.
I literally am.
Slightly better than I was. I'm only down 20 now.
I would do healing things, but I cast this Misty Step and then Featherfall happens, so I don't have that healing spirit anymore.
All right. Off to the Minotaur's residence.
You're fine.
Okay.
So wait, are we going to go investigate, or are we going to wait for the small council to convene?
I want to go investigate.
Yeah, they have to round up 3 whole people. We only have to round up 1.
Well, he doesn't even know where they are. Yeah.
There are
and she's a
dozens of us.
Minotaur. She's hopefully a lot easier to find than 3 people.
So all of the guards are pretty tuckered out. It takes a lot out of them to be healed back from almost being dead. They need some resting time. But all of them recognize what happened and are extremely grateful to you, Gelidus.
And Owen.
Yeah. Well, Owen's
Mostly
already
Gelidus.
I didn't heal them. I just healed the like.
I thought you healed each of them for like a hit point or 2.
No, we went with me dumping 10 into that first guy.
Old weird dude.
So Becky's house is like there's a sort of like a big-ish like house that has like attached to it kind of like almost like a rental apartment, almost like a
guest house.
Yeah,
like a mother-in-law.
Sort of, yeah, because it's attached to the bigger house.
So like a tumor.
All right. And that's
It's like a second head.
Yep. Okay. I'll wait till you're done. You good?
A
No, I'm done.
Minotaur in-law house.
Yeah.
It's got a very sturdy front door, and it's clear that Becky lives here, based on like a lot of hoof prints and hard packed earth around the front step.
She lives here.
I'm gonna walk up and knock on the door. Lady Rebecca.
Her name's not Rebecca. Hold on, I gotta find her name now.
It's not.
Thought it was Becky.
I thought it was Becky.
Yeah, that's different.
Her name is Beckea. People call her Becky.
Lady Beckea.
Wow.
Open the door. Friends are without.
What? Why do you say that's fine?
Because we're friends.
Look, Zerwin, do you know the code or something?
There's a code?
I don't know. Is there a back door?
I gotta tell you, I'm glad that we have Owen.
Not Zerwin.
There sure was.
I don't want to. I'm not talking about the mini tourist attraction. I'm just talking about
the mini tourist attraction.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
is the door unlocked? I'm gonna try the door.
Unlocked.
It is unlocked.
It's unlocked.
Right.
Hey guys, why don't we cast knock?
Lady Beckea, we're
Friends
coming
are
in.
within.
And we enter.
Why do you keep calling her Lady Beckea?
I just really I want Owen to like me, so I'm gonna say the same things he says.
I do like you, friend.
Thank you, Owen. All right, I can talk my own way now. Becky, we're coming in, and then I kick the door in. God, I'm so sick of all of us.
You're gonna hurt your foot.
Wait, did you just turn the knob and then kick the door?
Yeah, it's ajar, so I can
it's not
kick
a knob,
it in.
it's a latch.
What if there's a trap?
Oh.
He like lifts the latch and like kicks the door, but just ends up like hurting his foot. But the door does swing open.
Okay.
There's no one inside. It's like a kind of a bungalow. There's like a little bedroom and a little kitchenette and then like a little living room area. You can see basically everything except for the bathrooms behind like a door. So, but the door's open, so you can see into the bathroom.
And yeah, she's clearly the only one who was living here, so she wouldn't have like left a note if she was like going out or something like that, right? Well, look around.
The only thing you notice is that the near the door
are Zerwin's pants.
Hold on. Actually, why doesn't everyone make a search or perception check? Yeah, investigation.
Investigation or perception, or just we have to do investigation.
Either will do.
All right. Fuck, that's an 8.
Jesus Christ. 2, 3.
17.
There we go. That'll perceive something.
Owen, right next to the door, the door that you just came in, is clearly a spot where there's supposed to be some sort of large handled weapon. It's like worn, like every day someone comes in and puts it there, and once they shut the door, and there's no weapon there.
Friends, look here. This bracket here looks like it's been well worn, as if a mighty weapon has lain here, and it is no longer present. It's possible that she came to claim it before disappearing.
The floor
Can we try to follow her tracks?
Dug out and nicked. So like either a pointed thing or something with a pointed butt on the end was put here.
Can we try to see if there are tracks reasonably fresh tracks leading away from the front door?
She comes back here every day, so yeah.
So we kind of know that she left with her weapon.
Yeah, do you guys think that maybe she went down to the mine where the Draconians had come in?
Jeez, probably. Either that or she went out to fight and she got carried off.
That's possible.
She's dead.
We should go check out the mine just in case.
I like that idea.
Derelict in our duties if we did not try to reclaim her.
Reclaim. Okay.
If she is a captive, we should claim her back to our side.
Right. That's totally legitimate when you said it that way. We should go down to the mines and reclaim her.
On the way to the mines, you're gonna have to walk by Geldis's parents' house, and this is where
Ooh.
the battle took place. Geldis, your mom and the ogres stop, and she the front door is in splinters. The stand where she sells her pastries and stuff has been destroyed. Several of the windows are broken. Inside is a chaotic mess. It's not pretty.
I put my hand on Galladus's shoulder.
Thanks.
We can rebuild.
I'll help her. He goes over and comforts his mom.
Maybe it's the sight of the house, or maybe it's that Yimmy comes flying out and wraps himself around the two of you. But whatever it is, it finally is enough to open the floodgates, and your mom just sinks to the ground and starts sobbing. All of the past 2 or 3 days coming out in a just absolute flood of exhaustion and horror and sadness and anxiety. And she's shaking and sobbing in your arms, and Yimmy is trying to squeeze and slither, and there's still blood in the streets and on the wall. It's not a pretty scene.
I'm gonna slip a handkerchief into Galladus's hand.
He'll provide it to his mom.
Piggy leans over and says, "We should take her to the inn."
Yeah, you're right.
We might want to grab some food because they're not serving breakfast this morning.
It's closed. You walked by the inn, right? So, Becky's house, the inn, 3 houses, the stall, and your house.
Well, we kicked that door in too, obviously.
Well, actually, Dirk knows how to get in the back way from the cats that he watched come in and out of the inn.
Mm-hmm.
There's a door through
Guys,
the
I know how to get in the back way through the kitchen. If you want to go in that way. Follow me.
Should we talk to the cats? You think they'll have any info?
We could.
You don't see any cats right now.
Yeah, I also. Hold on.
Do any of us have speak with animals?
Yeah, Dirk does.
I do, but I
Yeah.
can't cast it right now.
No, you have it till long rest. So
That's only in BG3, I think.
So I just want to speed this up a little bit because this isn't actually super important. You can get her in the inn
Okay.
and move on. Once you get her in a room with a bed, she falls almost instantaneously to sleep. She's clearly exhausted. Heading back towards the mines, as you pass the house, I would like all of you again to make perception checks.
No whammy,
There
no
we
whammy,
go.
no whammy, no
Owen,
whammy.
you're the main
7.
character tonight.
Girl fucking bricks.
It was almost.
I also rolled a fat
critical
4 and a fat
success.
8 earlier, so.
So Owen, you see as you're deciphering this sort of all the madness that went on at this house, this battle that happened here between 24 draconians.
2 hobbits laid here, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
As you're deciphering this, you do see that there are hoof prints, big ones, not right here, but like over by the forge. Sorry. So Yaren, being a metal worker, had a forge behind their house. And like that's where a bunch of grass is torn up. And you can see that there are footprints there, hoof prints.
Friends, note these blades of grass right here. They're broken. You see this curve? It's the indentation of a hoof print.
Well, that's pretty great. Are
Still
there
good.
any horses in this town, or is it
It is a
just...
1-horse town.
Oh, okay.
There
This
are
is great.
not many horses in this town because it's in the mountains.
This distinctive curve looks a little big for a horse. Also, there are only 2 prints, not 4.
That's okay.
Now that the rest
Guys,
of
we
you,
should follow these tracks.
now that the rest of you see it, it's pretty
Good
clear.
idea.
Once Owen has pointed it out to you. My Christmas tree is going to give me a fucking seizure. Right.
All right,
So,
hold on.
um,
I'll fix it for you.
yeah,
Oh,
you gonna make it? You gonna make it go crazy?
no.
Hey, look at that. That's nice. All right, thank you.
Comes
Hey.
with a remote.
You betcha.
That's the spirit of Christmas, a remote.
For your tree. Yo, you betcha.
My
Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
pleasure.
betcha.
So the forge is pushed up against the city wall almost, like very close. And you can see that the far wall of the forge, so it has an open space where the actual forge is, but then there's like a workshop that is all walled in and closed with a door. And that, like, you see that one of the walls is blown out. And then like it's sort like it's splintered and collapsed. And the the town wall, the city wall behind it has been damaged, and there's like a 3 to 4 foot gap there where like the blown out timbers fell, and that like wall, the city wall, was damaged, and you see a leg, and then like a hand missed because it wasn't where the main battle was. Like poking out from underneath the timbers and rubble.
Oh, so not like severed and laying there.
No.
All right, I'm gonna
Oh.
go and try to lift the timbers.
Yeah, we gotta try to get it up.
Should I make a strength check, Bill, or
It's gonna take more than one of you.
I'm gonna say encouraging things from the background.
what does that give
Yeah.
us?
I'll help.
I mean, I'll try to help. I'm not actually that. I'm strong for my size.
Ezra casts encouraging things from the background.
I got a dirty 20 for my
Let's see
strength
that.
check.
Anybody else helping him?
Yeah. I'm gonna-
Oh yeah.
I got a 7 again. That's 2 7s in a row.
I got a 16, but I'm very, very big.
Okay. That'll do it. Between the 5 of you, the 2 ogres, by the way, are still standing out in the street. They're having a conversation that you can't hear.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
You can't yell that if you're grunting to lift up this big beams. But
Thanks, guys.
yeah, that's better.
Say when I'm done.
Yeah. As you like lift these like 2 big beams that have fallen, you see that underneath them is Becky. She is like pretty badly wounded. It looks like
Is she conscious?
She's not conscious. It looks like one of her horns was broken off, and that side of her head was like back side of her head has like a dent in it. At that point though, all of the beams and like rubble just lift and become weightless, and then move off to the side, and you see Kiggy is like using some sort of telekinesis power,
Telekinesis, yeah.
and she's lifting off the rubble and pulling it aside.
Thank you, Kiki.
So the extent of the wounds on Becky are, it looks like several of her ribs have collapsed on her right side, and then there's the broken horn on her left side and dent in the back of her head.
Does anyone have a potion of healing?
Yeah, to any of you guys, I turn to the ogres. Do you have any like special healing spells with all that magic that you got over there?
Is a healer. It's not our purview. I can do something very small, Kiki says, and she
Yeah,
like
anything
kneels
helps.
over and puts her hand on Higgy's chest and closes her eyes. She's breathing. Alive.
I will try to
I've-
move her.
I've got some healing left. I'll put some spells into her.
Dahlbrand, he looks at the whole scene, and then he closes his eyes and he gestures and says something ancient ogre, and this like a mini like scene pops up before you. It's like it looks like you're watching a little hologram video. Here's what you see. It is not quite dawn yet. It's in the pre-dawn hours, but it's that like bluish almost light just before dawn. The Sevax kind of like swoop down all around the house. There is no lights on in the house. There's no lights on in the forge. The first door that gets kicked open is the front door, and then you see like sort of through the windows, Yaren like sit up. He had been sleeping in the forge office, and he reaches down under his cot and he pulls out a pair of short swords. He crouches sort of like behind the door, waiting like whoever kicks in this door he's going to jump on and stab. Sure enough, after they like ransack the house, you hear not even like they're not even finished ransacking the house yet when Kiggy comes around, not Kiggy, Becky comes around the corner. She's got a great sword in her hands, and she's like enraged. She cleaves one of the Sevax like from neck to hip, and it like almost splits in half, which isn't great because you know what happens when Sevax die? Anyone?
They explode
They
or
either
they turn into
explode or yeah,
acid
it's one
or
of those.
stone.
Yeah, it's not pretty. But what's even worse is that when she turns like to face the next opponent, the biggest of the Sevac lands a direct kick right in her like chest's solar plexus. She flies back, smashes into the wall, and then Yaren, like screaming, jumps out, stabs one of the Sevacs a bunch of times. It slumps to the ground. Then you hear the bellow of Reed, and he comes barreling around. But Becky has been buried by both the collapse of the wall and the blowout of the forge wall. A small battle ensues. Yaren is way more capable in combat than you might have first assumed. He's lithe, he's nimble, he's quick. They can't get a hand on him. He dodges all of their attacks. Reed comes bursting around the corner. He's immediately surrounded by 6 different Sevacs. He starts fighting them. They start fighting him. A few guards rush around, and finally, there seems to be some sort of captain, the really big one that kicked Becky. Says something, gestures, casts some sort of spell, and Yaren is slowed. And at that point, he's grabbed. And you also see that this captain or slightly larger Sevac, they're all large, this one's slightly bigger, has a wriggling backpack, which you can only assume is Fodley's. He and several of the other CVACs then leap into the air and fly away. Darlbrand is gifted with illusion and sight.
So was that an illusion or was that real?
Think of it as a dream, but one that reflected what happened here. I pulled the memory from this place and projected it so that you could see it.
So did we see which direction they flew?
North.
North. Okay.
We must get the lady back to healing. More
Y-
healers.
Yeah, we take her to the infirmary, I guess.
Yes.
Huh.
Can I fireman's carry her?
Yeah, she's quite large. The ogres actually volunteer to carry her between them.
Great.
Minotaurs are big.
Yeah.
All right, we'll accompany them to make sure she gets back safely.
As you sort of and re-enter the town hall, which is the town offices, Hallstone, and you get to the intersection to take a right, you see that Alzor has in the back office building where you first met Steelbeard, the door is open and Alzor is there, and he gestures for you to come in. The council would like to speak with you, all of you.
We have wounded.
Piggy says, "We'll take her. You guys go."
All right.
All right, we'll go.
Inside, sorry, hold on. Inside, you see three people seated around the table. The first is a dwarf. He looks like middle-aged, or the equivalent in dwarf years. He's slightly less gray than Steelbeard was, but and slightly shorter, but stalwart and scarred. He's got a big scar on the left side of his face. He's introduced as Yarg Glimrin. Next to him is a human woman of about 70. She's got multiple layers of clothing on, like shawls and wraps and scarves and hand warmers and legs and boots.
So she's from Florida.
Maybe. He's also got glasses, and she's sitting back in her chair, and sort of really giving you guys the appraising eye.
I bow.
He's introduced as Clara Stillwater. And then next to her is a wispy, thin, mid-30s woman who had dark hair with one streak of gray on falling over her left side. She looks like she's mid-30s, maybe late 30s. She's got brown eyes and sort of slightly pinched features, and she's introduced as Rose Darno. "Please," the dwarf says. "Yarg, sit. There are 6 seats for you all. Barley is still with you."
Fucking barley.
Okay. I'll drop a seat and sit awkwardly in my full plate.
Same.
Are we going to be here long enough to take a short rest?
No, because that's still a few hours.
All right, let's go.
Remember, it's still only like mid-afternoon, maybe late afternoon at this
We
point.
got time. We got time.
Also
Yeah, we
in the
got things to
room,
do before bedtime.
also in the room is Folus. That's the green-haired elf. If you remember, he's the like record keeper.
So he's the inside guy.
And Alzor is also in the room, and Alzor shuts the door. Those are all the people at the table. Please, Yarg says, tell us what happened to my friend, Steelbeard.
Steelbeard. Oh man, he died valiantly. I'll tell you that much. We were down in the mines, and
Nope.
we were down. Sorry, in the dwarven castle. Can somebody tell this person about the dungeon? We were down in the dungeon. And we encountered a bone dragon and a bunch of slod, and he donned the dwarven crown. What's the official name of the crown there, Zerwin? Remember that?
Nope, I have no idea. It's a crown
Okay,
of that.
that's the crown that Zerwin's got.
Uh,
Of Dwarven Kings, right?
yeah.
Yeah, the crown of dwarven kings.
That doesn't sound right.
So he put a crown on, and he bravely commanded an army of dwarven heroes whose souls had passed, and yeah, he died fighting Slod and a dragon, and we made a little memorial for him. He's down there.
I think technically the dragon fell on him.
That is technically what the memorial is, but I think that we treated it with the reverence necessary for it to be a memorial, is what I meant.
The dragon was an undead dragon, and it had a kind of breath weapon that once Steelbeard had fallen unconscious, he immediately died. We were unable to revive him.
Bill, I'm gonna cast Detect Evil with my divine sense while I'm in the room. No.
You don't pick anything up.
Okay. I'm gonna keep it active for now.
People notice when that happens?
I think there might be like a slight flare in my eyes.
Out of game, quick question. What's the difference between cast and used in my spells?
What's the descriptor?
Concentration up to 1 minute, action.
You have to cast it, and then you can use it as an action while you're concentrating on it, I
Yeah.
believe. Glad I got that one right. That would have been embarrassing.
Okay, cool. Got it. Thank you.
Crown. It's still there with his body.
No, I've got it.
We have the crown.
You have it.
Zerwin was able to speak with Steelbeard. Zerwin donned the crown. After
I
Right,
would
it
like
fell
to
away.
insight check everyone in this room.
You want to?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna just do it. Keep talking.
I
The
didn't
crown
really.
fell. Go ahead,
really-
Zerwin.
I didn't really speak to him. That's not really how it works, but yes.
You put the crown
being-
on, and it worked for you.
Yes.
And you still have it. But
Yes.
there's still hope.
Yes.
Clara speaks up at this point. Well, good, because we got a big fucking fight in our hands, and we're gonna need that crown and every fucking scrap of wisdom it has. Put it on. What's it say we should do? Is it useful? Rose then speaks up and says, we should be cautious. We have no idea what this thing does or is, and what difference does it make? Outnumbered. We should leave this place before we are all killed.
Like, not against that idea.
Zerwin, you've already worn it once. Can you give us any more information about what that experience was like?
It's almost like it's trying to take control of me as much as I'm trying to take control of it, in a sense. But it seems to contain, like, it's not just one entity. It's like it's fighting for control. And when I say it again, it's like there are many beings inside that crown fighting for control of it.
And I think we knew as much. It is alleged to contain the wisdom of at least dozens of dwarven kings, correct?
I wasn't able to kind of glean anything when I wore it of Dwarven Kings, but I was able to, not really talk, but somewhat communicate with Steelbeard.
Oh, and who's that 14 for?
I would like that to be for the person who just said that we should flee.
She's terrified. She's
Genuinely terrified.
yes. She
Okay.
wants desperately to leave. In fact, wants to run right now.
I really wish I had a spell.
Yeah, me too.
I would zone of truth this place like right now.
Well, so
I mean, I'll put the stupid hat on.
so here's what it's going to boil down to, right? Clara wants Clara wants to fight. She's not leaving. Rose wants to abandon ship, and everyone should leave. And Yarg wants to know what the crown has to say.
I think
Yeah, I
maybe.
mean,
Go ahead.
this is a safe space for a crown trip, man. Why don't you just take a ride on the crown, and we'll just make sure you don't hurt anybody.
Okay, put it on. I can't communicate to you guys, I don't think, while it's on.
That's
Okay.
fine.
Zerwin's expression changes.
Sure.
It goes from Zerwin, did you ever find a picture for your character, by the way? Yeah, you
Yeah,
did.
didn't I?
Yeah, did you guys see that picture in the characters channel? It's pretty epic. Oh no, it's not in the characters channel. Where'd you put it?
I sent it to you. I thought. No. It's on Owlbear.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
where it was.
It's amazing. Anyway, his expression changes from like the Zerwin sort of like, I don't know.
His Zerwin face.
Yeah, the Zerwin stoic, half-aware face to like a sort of like much more sharp-eyed, like consternation. Where's the fight?
It's probably here. And we're doing
But to
some
you, though.
planning. No, it's for later. The
That's good. You wouldn't
location
stand a
is
fucking
probably
chance.
that's very true. You seem super intimidating. We are doing a little bit of planning for a future fight, probably within the next 12 hours. And we wanted some guidance on how to handle fighting dragons in cities. Have you ever encountered anything like that?
Is
And
it
Zerwin?
underground like it should be?
Negative. It is in the
Then
mountains.
I think you're fucked. Wait a minute.
Okay,
is it
cool.
made
Is
of
there
stone?
No, it's
parts of it?
mostly made of wood.
Oh, wood. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Flammable stuff. How
Is
many
there
soldiers do
anybody
you have?
else in that crown that we could talk to right now?
You know what? Good point. Is there anyone else besides him I can talk to here?
Yeah, that's fine.
You could talk to me. You could talk to You can talk to all of
How
us
many
actually.
soldiers do you have?
Not many. I
Clara?
want to say 20.
Clara have an answer for
52.
that?
We have 52 guards and maybe 600 combat capable people, but those are untrained.
How many assailants? Just one dragon?
No,
Um,
they got draconian friends.
One red dragon that I would assume is in the prime of his life, and
A
then
Yeah.
red dragon.
as many as 5 or 6,000 draconians.
Yeah.
The numbers aren't in our favor, and neither is the location, and neither is the fortification at the location, and neither is time. Although I do think it'll be more than 12 hours. We know that
I'm
the
in,
attack is
you
within the
fucking
next
son of a
week.
bitch. I'm in. All right. Let's do it.
That makes one of us.
Great.
Go on.
Sounds good.
I'll need to see maps, a list of supplies,
Just real quick,
assets.
what's your name?
Don't. So
That's
when
fine.
you
Don't need to
feel
know.
you feel him slipping. It's like the traction sort of like catches in that moment. All right, so you have a chance, Zerwin, to like push this aside to sort of take control, or you can let it keep going.
I'll let it keep going.
Right. Sorry, what were they saying? How many people are in this town? How many people are fighting age? How many weapons do we have? How much supplies do we have? Do we have war engines of any sorts? Catapults, ballistae? Do we have water? Do we have mines?
Wait, is Alzor in this room at a game? Is that I forget. Is Alzor's in this room right now, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
do have mines. However, the Draconians have already attacked via the mines. There was a makeshift. They were hidden behind a wall and attacked the town from that direction.
Are there any more in
Do
there?
we have water? We're on a lake, I believe.
A lake.
We should hand over just like a bit of the tactical information to be like Alzor, give him all the info, and then we can go from there.
Yeah.
Lake. That's good.
Fortifications, location, yeah, all those things.
A lake we can use. And there's a wall
It's made of wood. It's a wooden palisade.
and allies. Do you have allies you can call on?
Oh yeah, we got a bunch of Urson. It could be like 2 or 3, or it could be 1 billion. We don't know.
We have several ogre friends. There are also dwarves in the mountains who have thus far refused help. Since we've obtained this crown, it's possible that they might be more open to helping us.
Well, those are your best fighters, no doubt. The dwarves.
Yeah.
An army of them could take down anything. My people are... Well, they're good at cracking skulls, aren't they? Let's be...
Sure, they're just not here.
And then, like, it slips again. And Zerwin, you're out.
My option, you said?
No, it's gone. It's just you.
Do I take the crown off?
What are you
Alzor,
gonna go get your dwarf friends? What happened?
how long would it take for us to reach the dwarves?
Was I conscious of that entire thing, or was I?
Yeah.
I just couldn't control it, right? But I could
So-
hear everything that was said, and
Yep. You know that it's happening. It's like watching yourself from a distance. Folus at this point steps forward and says, "We do have a will for Steelbeard on record. Would you like me to get it and read it?"
Sure.
Yes.
I'll be back in a minute. He walks out the door. All right. Yarg says, I want to thank you for avenging my friend by slaying the dragon that killed him. And for bringing the crown back here. But it doesn't seem stable. It doesn't seem like we count on it. Like, what's going on? Why are you back? Like, what's happening?
Don't know.
Clara says, you seem to have some interesting ideas about the lakes and the mines. Maybe we can think about how that will work. And allies. We should send from allies. Rose pipes in. We've already sent for allies. It's pointless. We need to get the fuck out of here. I am leaving. I'm getting my children and I'm leaving. Yarg says, sit. We need to take a vote before you leave. A vote on what? On what to do. There's 3 of us. If there's only 2, there could be a tie. If there's 3, there can be no tie. Well, then, let's have the vote. We don't even know what we're voting on yet. And they sort of like, this is like, you see the old patterns of the council emerging, right? Where like Clara's on one side, Rose is on another, Yarg is sort of straddling that line. Clearly, Steelbeard would have been useful in a situation. It seemed like maybe they relied on him to sort of manage things. A few minutes later, Follis comes walking back in. He's got a scroll that has been sealed with Steelbeard's sigil, and he sort of stands at the table and waits for their chatter to die down, and then says, "With permission." And when they nod at him, he breaks the seal. There's it's quite long, this scroll, and he's sort of like, some of it's written in Dwarvish, some of it's written in Common Tongue, and he sort of skips down, maybe halfway down, and says, "To the delegates of Wonder, here we go. I have done my best to prepare the town to defend itself, and if you are reading this, I have failed before my duty was complete. Please forgive me. I truly did my best. While I have no control of what the council does in my absence, I trust your judgment now that I am gone. I urge you to appoint a temporary guardian of the city until the draconian menace is resolved. My ardent wish is that you appoint as commander of all forces of the city and in charge of its defense he or she who has in their possession and is able and willing to use the crown of dwarven kings. For only in its power, knowledge, and gifts do I see our city surviving this terrible threat. Good luck, my friends, and know that I'll be raising the war cry from the great beyond, where all of the heroes of our forefathers will be singing the songs of courage and heroism." And that's it. Goes on to detail his personal belongings. There's kind of a shocked silence in the room after that. And then Rose says, he has no legal authority. He's dead. And then Clara says, no, but he's got a good point. And then Yarg says, could you give us a few moments to discuss this, please?
Bill, which one is Rose again?
Rose is the thin, pinched-faced woman who's terrified.
Oh yeah, okay, never mind. She's safe.
Alzar opens the door and shows you out. In the hallway, Follis goes with you into the hallway. You also see the 2 ogres are there, and Alzar closes the door behind him. How long did the dragon say before the attack?
Within the week.
A week. A week. Follis, and like, when you first met Follis as the record keeper, he was like a little skittish, a little, flighty almost. It seemed like an odd choice for a record keeper, if you remember correctly. That was the impression that you all got. This Volus that stepped outside the room and closed the door behind him is a steely-eyed, hard-faced, like, kind of terrifying immortal elf. And he, like, turns and looks at all of you and says, that council is inept. This is exactly why Steelbeard was appointed guardian as prime delegate. This entire place will burn to the fucking ground if we don't do something about it. I'm going for help.
To whom are you seeking allyship?
Yeah, where are you going?
We have to go to the dwarves. We have one of what must be one of the
Their
most
most
potent
valuable.
and important artifacts. It contains all of the wisdom of generations of kings. They're
And
they're
are
going to
we
want it, and we
giving
can
this
use
back
that.
to them in exchange for their support?
I think that's what I had been thinking.
I think we should definitely exact some promise from them.
We should just make Zerwin wear it and have their ancient kings speak to them.
We can do that too.
That seemed a little unreliable when he did it just now. Seemed like it was okay
That
for
could
a
just
minute.
be Zerwin, depending
Yeah,
on
no,
what he
he'll-
ate this morning.
He's going to get better at it.
Bill, is there like attunement? Could it be that Zerwin's not attuned to this magical item and has to go through some shit before?
Yeah, I mean, he's from a different plane of existence.
What I'm saying.
He's
Do
not
you
a
want
part
me-
of the lineage of kings.
Should I roll Arcana to know that, or is that like general knowledge?
I mean, you just can't, like, I don't know.
I mean, I guessed, but that's my out of game knowledge.
And-
Like that's how I would make it do.
Ezra had some pretty good in-game information just then, right? Like, what did you say, Ezra, just now?
So, what I said was, Zerwin is from a different plane of existence. He's not of the lineage of kings. That said, he is a dwarf, so it will work at least a little bit for him. Or at least that's my assumption that I'm working on. We've seen it work at least a little bit. So we have to draw conclusions from that. That's the only information we have. The hopeful conclusion is if it was provided to a dwarf with the lineage of kings from this place, it would work maybe a little bit more perfectly.
Attunement, like, makes sense, and the fact that it's, seems to be, well, you haven't asked him about it, actually. It's a conversation you need to have with Zerwin.
Zerwin, you told us that it felt like there were a lot of voices all at once, right?
Yeah, well, the last time somebody just grabbed it. The time before that, like I said, Steelbeard was able to communicate, or
Right.
at least get a message through. But again, it had nothing to do with me.
I think we're going to have to be smart in the way that we talk to the dwarves about it. I'm not an expert on interacting with dwarven nobility or dwarven royalty. Zerwin, this is something that I think you probably have a lot more experience in. But the crown is their rightful artifact, correct?
Yeah. Also, I don't think we need it other than to beat this dragon army.
Well,
So I don't want to keep it.
what I'm saying is if we go to the dwarves, it would probably work against us to say, hey, we'll give this to you if. That will likely work against us. What may work better is if we arrive and say, we are returning this to you, and we ask for support in this next thing. And we may Why would we assume that the Draconians and Rhymeroth would stop after burning Wonder? He's building siege engines. He told us that. The dwarves are going to be next. He wants it, they're living underground as is. They live in mines of their own. What's to
He
stop them
wants
from
the
going after
gold,
the dwarves?
probably.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't my not misremembering, but didn't Steelbeard want to go to the dwarves after we got the crown anyway? Wasn't
I
that
think
part of
so.
it? We thought that they would help us if we could recover this thing, so
That makes sense.
s-
I don't remember him saying that outright, but that does out of game. I don't remember, but that he probably did say that. That would make sense.
Have you tried communicating with the being in the crown? Is what Follis is asking you.
I haven't specifically tried to communicate with one specific one, although when we were in the proximity of, you know, Steelbeard, he was able to communicate with me. So obviously he, he remembered who we were and what we were doing.
Did you try talking to the one that just appeared a minute ago?
I did not.
Why don't you try?
Okay.
Whatever comes up next, just ask it. Who knows what it'll tell you?
Okay. I put the crown back on.
All right.
I think we should be doing crown dosing. Just
Can we hop up a channel real quick?
Sure. Hey.
All right. I gotta roll a dice here. Hold on. Yeah. It's a woman this time who comes forward. Where is he? That fucking son of a bitch. Where is he?
Where's who?
Jorgund.
Who's Jorgund?
You fucking bastard. I'm gonna squeeze with my own bare hands until he gives me back my dead fucking children.
Oh, well, I'm not sure where Jorgund is, but we need your help.
Okay. Who are you?
How did My name's Zerwin. We found the Dwarven Crown of Kings, and we need we need help up to fight a dragon and a draconic army. And we are outmanned, out-resourced, and out-geographied, and we need your help. Or we need someone's help to come up with a plan to defeat this army and save Wonder, a town in the mountains.
Zerwin. Zerwin. What's your last name, Zerwin? Your family name?
Grumple Forged.
Crumple Forged. I'm not familiar with that name. You seem.
I
Go ahead.
I think I'm from a different plane. I'm not sure who. What is your name?
Yes, that makes sense. Helginda. My husband was Jorgund. He signed a deal with the devil, and he sold my children and myself in the process. But he was a fool, and I snuck one of my sons away, and I sent him to Faerun. I think that's what they called it. Well,
Do you know how? Do you know how this crown works?
crowned. Yes, I put on the crown just before I died. It was given from king to king, from generation to generation. You, well, you must be related. Are you alive or dead?
I'm alive.
Am I dead? I must be.
I believe you are.
All right, I'm gonna pull us back to the other thing now because you're gonna start saying all these things out loud.
Love a Super Nintendo. Every time I try to go back to the Nintendo, I'm like, isn't this awesome? And then it isn't. But Super Nintendo, absolutely. Donkey Kong Country, sign me up.
All right, so at first there's a couple seconds of silence.
Wait,
and
who the
then-
fuck are you?
Then Zerwin starts talking in 2 different voices.
Nice.
So I'm
Like
dead
layered
left.
or back and
Can
forth?
you just let us have a conversation, please?
Just asking. I'm sorry. I just wanted to know.
You're still alive then.
Yes, I am still alive.
Okay. You'll need to. You need to. Your essence. I don't know. Something needs to connect with the artifact. It's going to take time and practice, but once you do that, you'll be able to call on us, each of us, whoever else is here.
How do I practice?
Practicing right now. I'm Helginda, and I'll help you. You'll
Thank
need
you,
to make
Helginda.
deals with everyone. And here's my deal. I help you, you help me find my son.
Deal. But you tell me when you were alive? What the year was?
Good question. She does so. I'm not going to say what it is right now. But it was basically 2 generations ago.
So is it like we need to speak with Dead spell potentially, or
I mean, she just said find her son, right?
So
Out of
this would
game.
be
I cannot communicate directly with the party members, right? I can only communicate with Helginda right now.
yeah. And
okay,
Helginda's
ignore me
agreeing.
then.
So like this would Helginda could like dwarves live a little bit longer than humans, right? They can live several hundred years. So this, this woman's son would be the generation above your generation, Serwin.
So I mean, he could still be alive. He would be
Could still be
very
alive.
old, or approaching very old. I mean, the other thing is, if he's in this lineage, he might be in the crown already.
Helginda, can
He's
any
not.
dwarf use Helginda? Can any dwarf use this crown?
No. There has to be some blood share. Could be a tiny amount, but some part of the lineage has to be intact.
So Zerwin's a prince.
What's your son's name?
Um, I just lost the name. So he was a baby when we sent him away, and like our tradition is to name babies privately, and then you earn your adult name. So we called him Chalice, but he was a baby, so he never had an adult
Chalice. Okay. What do you want me to do when we find him? Just let you know?
name. If he's alive, he needs to wear the crown. He needs to be here with us. He needs to have the crown. It should be his. You might be some 24th distant cousin, no offense, but it rightfully belongs to him. And
Okay.
he should rule Thorbarden.
Sure. If you'll help me if you help me communicate with everyone else in the crown, I will find your son.
Well, I'll help you as best I can, but you might have to make deals with some of the others. At that point, the door opens from the council room. Please come back in, they say.
We do so.
Can I hear that?
Yeah, you can hear them.
Do I need to take the crown off to move?
Nope.
Yeah. Follow them in.
Rose looks rather upset. And Clara looks quite pleased. And Yarg looks, I don't know, resigned. But when you come back in, they say, Yarg speaks up. We've decided to heed our late friend's advice. Zerwin, we're naming you guardian of the city and giving you control of its defenses. Rose is going to lead an evacuation of those unable to fight. And everyone else is going to stay, including me. And me, said Clara. I may be old, but give me a pitchfork. I'll stab the shit out of something. Rose gets up and walks out. You're fools, all of you.
That's on brand.
We're just about done for the night. Okay, getting late.
Okay.
But let me just lay this out for you a little bit. You have a week to prepare. That is what Brian Ross said. About a week. You have Reed, you have Alzor, you have Folas, you have Yarg, and you have Clara. You also have the 2 ogres. And you have potential allies to the north and the dwarves, maybe. You didn't ask Folas where he was going to go for reinforcements, but he might have an idea. You also have the centaurs, possibly, to the east. And then there are barbarian tribes to the south. Sort of as a group, you're going to have to come up with a plan on how to do this.
So we should go burn a couple of barbarian villages and make it look like a dragon did it.
Mm-hmm.
You have your advisors and people to speak to about all of the things that you can possibly do. Zerwin, you have a crown that you should be getting attuned to, one way or another. And I have mass combat rules and about 50 different things in the sandbox for you to play with.
Okay. We'll need to know how far the portal spell works.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think we're going to be spamming the fuck out of that to get everywhere. And how long he needs, like how many times he can do it a day, how long he needs to recuperate for that, so that we can be like, how many days can we do this before we're fucked?
Starbrand says that he can open it to any place he's been before. And he can leave it open as long as he can stay awake. But he can't do anything else when he has it open, and he can't make it any bigger than it is.
But still, once we convince someone, he could stay and move an army in theory if they march through it single file.
If he has been to the place where they're coming from, the challenge is he's been in hiding for most of his life because he's a giant blue ogre. There are some places he's been and some places he hasn't been. But if you can get him there, you can leave that door open, and in theory, an army could filter through single file.
So is it like he needs to picture it, or he has to have been there? Is the magic bound to his experiences, or is it like
experiences? He has to have been there.
Okay, so we can't trick the system somehow with telepathy or anything and be like, hey, dump a bunch of thoughts into his brain, like memories of a vacation and
The only
dwarven
other
lands.
he says the only other possibility is there are other ogre ruins that might have doors in them that I can activate from afar. But otherwise, I have to create the door, and it's there forever. It just goes back to being whatever it was when I'm not using it as a door. That makes
It's a
sense, right?
crapshoot. It sounds like.
We could, if we decide we want to go to a certain place, we can send him there, and he can transport everybody back to Wonder. He only needs to be on one side of it.
That's true.
So
And
if
then he
we
can
make
come
a
himself.
decision, hey, we want the dwarves, we could send him to the dwarves and have them transported to Wonder through the portal. It's not going to be as useful to go talk to people, but once we make a decision, getting people back will be much easier with that.
He might also be able to give the refugees a head start. If we do have a moment alone, I'm gonna caution everyone. I'm gonna say like, this dragon isn't an idiot. We have to possibly consider that he might have an inside ally. I looked around during the council meeting, but I didn't detect any evil emanations. But that doesn't mean that someone in the town isn't helping the dragon.
We
Well,
also
go ahead,
go ahead.
Ezra.
Well, I mean, he's been ahead of us. The dragon's been ahead of us every step of the way, basically,
Exactly.
and we've been playing right into his hands. And he was very open with a lot of that information. He monologued for a while, although he then tried to kill us. So he might think we're dead.
It is possible. We don't know if he's guilty of pride or some other flaw.
You do, because his brother told you exactly
Yes.
that.
He's vain.
He's vain and prideful.
So we need to make a big golden dragon that's full of a trap.
Also, Bolus points out that he did have a bunch of agents in here, including Steelbeard's right-hand man. But he
Yeah.
played all those cards to get the things that he needed from the city.
Yeah.
And he got everything he wanted.
But what does he need from the city?
Dragon metal. A huge mine full of dragon metal. And gold and silver, probably. But he flat out told you that he wanted to use the dragon metal.
Yeah, he was trying to get Yara and yeah, find people and then figure out how to take it.
We need... Alzor says, what would be nice is if we had a silver dragon. They hate red dragons.
We can find one of those. How hard are those to find? Can't be that hard.
Like world.
Big world.
What if we reach out to Stiggy's dad? We still have his tube, right?
Well, we already have reached out to him.
Ramnor?
We're waiting. Yeah, we're waiting to hear back.
Yeah.
Yeah. How far away is the closest crystal?
It was a full day to get here, I believe.
Back at Hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a day's journey east.
You take a 1-day journey to a crystal. Do 3 days over there trying to find some stuff.
We should sleep, friends. It seems like we have a long journey ahead of us, and
We should sleep,
none of us
friends.
know what the dawn holds.
You do need a long rest,
Sure.
which you can mark down before the next session. But I just
Long
wanted to make the
rest.
parameters clear, and I'm going to be up for a bit longer if you want to ask me questions. Your characters want downtime stuff. You want to spitball some more. I'm going to be on here. I'm going to turn the stream off.